Good morning, everyone. I'm November, the representative of Boston Global Forum Japan. Nice to meet you. I'm very glad to have one distinguished members gathered today. They all represent Japan from each field. I'm so happy, so I'd like to sing one song specially today. The national anthem of America, Stars Spangled Banner by a cappella. Please listen. Don't worry, everyone. It's a joke. Thank you. And today is okay. And today is excellent Shinzo Abe initiative. Shinzo Abe is great leader of Japan and contribute to world peace and security and connected the world. And Shinzo Abe initiative is aimed to support Japan. I appreciate it very much. I understand of Japanese. And today also, PGF Japan's 10th anniversary. I established PGF Japan in 2014 March. And PGF Japan would like to contribute to support Japan. And I'd like to be a bridge between Japan and other countries. And today I'd like to thank, appreciate Mr. Yuan Tuan, PGF CEO, and Ambassador Ichiro Fujisaki, Professor Koichi Hamada from Yale, and Ambassador Shinji Yanai, and former State Minister of Defense, Mr. Nakayama, and Mr. Watanabe, Tsuya Watanabe from Sasakawa, and Mr. Shin Okabe from Sankei, and Mr. Yamamoto, and others. And today, from now, we have a very honorable guest speaker, Japanese active Minister of Economic Security, Sanae Takaichi, and also the authority of data science, Professor Alex Pentland from MIT. And after that, we have a security issue session at the former State Minister of Defense, Yasuhide Nakayama, Mr. Watanabe, Mr. Bonji Ohara from Sasakawa Peace Foundation, and Paul Madden, who is the ambassador, British ambassador to Japan. He talked from Singapore this morning, and Professor Yuichi Hosoya from Keio University. And then last part, AI ethical AI and natural AI. These three members are very authority and very prominent AI field. And Professor Yutaka Matsuo from Tokyo University, and Mr. Kazuo Yano from Hitachi, and Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro from Osaka University. And this time, we announced a new project, Shinzo Abe Leader Award. The Shinzo Abe Leader Award honors individuals with exceptional leadership innovation and contributions to Japanese society, especially in the age of AI and digital advancement. It celebrates those who have made a significant impact, showcasing remarkable achievements that propel communities and the nation forward. Criteria for Shinzo Abe Leader Award include leadership with a profound and positive impact on Japanese society, innovative accomplishment in AI and digital technologies, and notable contributions to social betterment. Recipients are distinguished leaders excelling in their fields and driving meaningful change in their community and beyond. Recipients of Shinzo Abe Leader Awards delivered speeches showcasing their achievement and contributions. These speeches share insight and vision for leveraging AI and digital technology to address societal challenges and inspire positive change, aiming to motivate others to join in building a better world. And we also announced that Shinzo Abe Award, with the award are covered at the end of April, and we will hold ceremony this award in Nha Trang in Vietnam. Thank you very much. I'm very, I wish it will be a fruitful one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mom. That we have a national and Shinzo Abe conference. I would like to invite all of us stand to remember Shinzo Abe and show respect at my list by Mr. Shinzo Abe. Please stand. 黙祷です。やっとみんなして。We think about by Mr. Shinzo Abe and his great contribution for the war, for the Japan, and for peace security. He's a great fan of a dear fan of Boston Global Forum. We think is our love and respect him. Thank you so much. And thank you for all our very dear friends and the great contributor for Boston Global Forum, especially in Japan. Hence, that great milestone from achievement in Japan and also in the cherry blossom 2014 we start with public delegation came to Tokyo. At that time I advised global advisor board of public business to came here meet with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in conference of public business school advisory board, and here we announced Boston Global Forum in Japan. And today many our friends came here and their great contribution for Boston Global Forum for 20 years. After Ambassador Fusaki and State Minister Nakayama and many online now. I appreciate your great contribution. And today we have a very important speak. And then after Minister Sana Takachi and Professor Alexander Penning, our board member, Boston Global Forum board member, one of top 7 scientists in the world. So grateful that Boston Global Forum TV. And we have a special report, Shinzo Abe report, for peace and security. We are thinking about solution and action. And Boston Global Forum, we are very honored to present secret report by our one co-author, State Minister Nakayama. Yes, and we will very much in action by set up and establish this community. The first is the world leader. This community include the leader who was honored by Boston Global Forum as a world leader for peace security award every year. And the first award and first leader was received the prestigious award is Prime Minister Shinzo Abe 2015 together with Chancellor of Germany, Chancellor Merkel. Yeah. So very meaningful for us to continue work on ideas, legacy of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe from the world leader is community. We will contribute to the world of peace security by dialogue, discuss with 4 pillars: US, Europe, UK, India, Japan. But we think this is a 4 pillars for peace and security in the world. It's very important. Of course, we will work together with many countries. They would like to contribute for peace and security and country in the world. If they would like to contribute and involve us. So another community that is a business leader for peace. And we have a community of scientists and technology. We also must set up very important new community that is the wrong community for peace because it's wrong. Okay. Very important impact for the world in the future to keep and maintain peace and security. We try to research and do that for community for peace, and we set up this year peace task force. Our people here today will join to work with leader of government and international organization, business community to try to find a solution to action for action and maintain peace. So conflict solution for peace and security with world and conflict security. Thank you so much for your coming and joining in very, very special time, meaningful time at Boston Global Forum in Japan 10th year and third Shinzo Abe conference that we are and with my personal, I always show my respect and love and admire with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, great leader of the world and Japan. Thank you so much.
皆様おはようございます。高市早苗でございます。本日はボストングローバルフォーラムジャパン主催の第3回心臓安倍イニシアティブカンファレンスが盛大に開催されますことを心よりお喜びを申し上げます。本日は国会審議のためご一緒することが叶いませんが、私の代理として中山康秀先生にご出席をいただいております。生成 AI をめぐる技術革新は生産性の向上や、労働力不足の解消などさまざまなメリットをもたらす一方で、偽情報の拡散など、深刻なリスクも、存在しております。日本では先月 AI の安全性の評価手法などを検討する、機関としまして AI セーフティーインスティテュートを設立いたしました。また来月には AI 事業者が守るべき項目を盛り込んだ AI 事業者ガイドラインが公表される予定でございます。ツワン CEO をはじめボストングローバルフォーラムの皆様の長年にわたるご貢献に心より敬意を表します。そしてボストングローバルフォーラムのますますのご発展と本日ご臨席の皆様のご健勝をお祈り申し上げます。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. My name is Ichiro Fujisaki. I was asked to be moderator from Mr. Tuan and Ms. Mita today, as usual, because they think if I'm able to speak, I'll speak too long. So they don't want to hear me speaking. So they ask me always as a moderator. Well, as moderator, I shouldn't be speaking, but I'll just want to focus our discussion on several points. India.
Very short.
Japan, US, EU, UK, India are the four pillars here. And we all know that there's some limit and constraint for India because they have to be depending on Russian military equipment as well. But we would like to have them as much as possible to our side. On Britain, UK, after Prime Minister Johnson, very remarkable changes, and on Farway, tough attitude on Farway issue, sending Carrier Queen Elizabeth to this region, and Prime Minister Sunak announced immediately after his assignment that golden era with China is over, and he's putting stress on economic security and last year joined TPP. So that's a great advancement here. The question is, can we assume that Britain has crossed the Rubicon and on our side? Can we always be in view of the fact that we still remember in 2015-16, he was the first one to plunge into AIIB. And this is one issue. Now we have institutions like, not institutions, but grouping like Quad, AUKUS. And in order to sort of cement Britain and others into this region, do we need other institutions as well, or is this enough? And in Quad, it's Japan, US, Australia, India. AUKUS is US, UK, and Australia. Korea and Australia may be other pillars, other than these four pillars as well. How do we look at them is also an issue. So I'll just throw out those issues. If you're discussing, maybe you could touch upon them as well. I would like to ask four speakers in a row. Ambassador Paul Madden from Singapore, who was a former British ambassador to Japan, and Professor Watanabe, Professor Ohara, and Professor Hosoya. I'm sorry, I was just told that there's a speaker before these four speakers, four pillar speakers. It's Professor, excuse me, I have to say it. Professor Pentland from MIT. I'm sorry to.
That's okay. That's okay. It was a good,
Please do come back.
entry.
Thank you.
And I'll just speak very shortly. So, as is mentioned, I'm part of Boston Global Forum, and also I'm advisor to the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is important in this context, as well as on the board of the UN Global Partnership for Sustainable Development. I'd like to just put in one little observation. About 2 years ago, Chairman Xi of China gave a talk where he said that data is a new primary means of production, along with capital and labor. And this is an incredible statement because, of course, Marxism is about capital and labor. And now he's saying that data is just as important as capital or labor. And the reason, he said, is because if you have data, that gives you the AI to be able to control things. And as a consequence, China has spent very successfully distributed next generation digital infrastructure for using distributed ledger technology that handles all of the trade, all of the flows, all the coordination between its major cities today, and is also being extended to Belt and Road participants. They're not the only one, though, that has realized this. So, for instance, in Singapore, their Sovereign Wealth Fund and JP Morgan have developed their own version of this sort of technology and tested it out in a wide range of applications. We've helped Switzerland do the same, and also worked with Maersk, the shipping giant, and Swift to be able to move to these new platforms. Why? Because the new distributed ledger platforms give you greater efficiency, much greater safety, and it makes the potential to have safe AI. And we could certainly talk more about that. We have a website about it at transformers.mit.edu. But the one that's perhaps most far along is India. India has developed the India Stack, which is a layer from identity up through applications, and is exporting it currently. It's 12 countries. More than 1.3 billion people are using it. And that's an alternative both to the Chinese system and to the Western systems. Far more efficient, far more accessible to the average person. And now they're beginning to move this up into a distributed ledger system. So I think that what we need to do, the 4 pillars, other people, is develop what I would call a world stack, and what Juan calls an AI world stack, which is a distributed technology, fully digital in this sort of new way that's distributed ledgers that supports safe AI. And I hope that Japan will be a leader in this, because what we need all of the countries to be able to be interoperable and to support this new, safer, faster AI integral type of infrastructure. And our trade depends on it, and our national security depends on it. And I think some people have woken up to it, but perhaps not enough. And my hope is that Japan will have a leadership position in this area. We're currently working with some of the other partners, India, Australia, US. I hope that Japan can join as another pillar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now we would like to proceed to the agenda number 1, 4 pillars issue. And Maden さんいらっしゃいますか? Maden 大使はい
ますよ。
よろしくお願いします。大変恐縮ですが、5分程度でお話しいただけますか?
Okay, well, good morning. So I'm Paul Madden. I'm the former British ambassador to Japan and also to Australia and Singapore. And nowadays I'm an advisor to some big international corporations and also a visiting professor at Keio University. So I'm honored to take part in this discussion which is named after the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, a leader with whom I had many opportunities to engage during my time in Tokyo, and for whom I and the political leaders in my country had a great deal of respect. So I'm now actually based in London, but today I'm joining you from Singapore, where I'm on a business trip. Now, in recent times, a number of countries and groupings from the advanced democracies outside of the region have taken a closer interest in the Indo-Pacific and have actively been drawing up new strategies to approach it. The reasons for this are clear. We have important economic interests in the economies of the region, which include some of the fastest growing markets in the world. And we have important security concerns about the increasing potential for instability in the region. Freedom of navigation through the international waters in the Indo-Pacific is vital for our own supply chains. And respect for international laws and institutions is important for growth and stability. And this is not an anti-China strategy. We all need to cooperate with China in some areas, as well as competing with it, and in some areas to set out our red lines in response to particular challenges. For the UK, our integrated review of defence, security, foreign and development policy was published in 2021, and then it was refreshed in 2023 in the light of international developments. And the review announced an Indo-Pacific tilt, and it also described China as a systemic competitor. It called for specific issue-based coalitions in addition to the permanent institution and alliances which we've been members of for many years. And of course, the Indo-Pacific is not an entirely new part of the world for us. From Hong Kong to Singapore, Malaysia, Australasia, Britain has a long history in this part of the world. The British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, visited Japan last year to attend the Hiroshima G7 summit. And we very much welcomed Japan's agenda for G7 and the progress it made at the summit, particularly on economic security issues. Prime Minister Sunak also had a bilateral visit during which he and Prime Minister Kishida signed an agreement known as the Hiroshima Accord. And this was a far-reaching agreement setting out an intensification of UK-Japan relations across many spheres. One of the closest areas of recent collaboration has been in the naval maritime domain, where the Royal Navy and the JMSDF have had a long history. The visit by Her Majesty's ship Queen Elizabeth and her carrier group in 2021 was an important symbol of this collaboration. And we hope to see another carrier visit in due course, perhaps next year. In 2021, the UK also announced, together with Japan and Italy, a major new collaboration on the Global Combat Air Programme to jointly develop and build the next generation of fighter aircraft and associated systems. And this is a really important development, and it will bring our industries and our militaries into a new level of relationship for decades to come. Meanwhile, the UK is also joining with the US and Australia in the AUKUS program to help Australia acquire nuclear-powered submarines, which will significantly enhance Australia's regional capabilities. And in the economic sphere, the UK has also recently joined the CPTPP trade agreement to link it more closely to countries in the region. For the European Union, both at the EU level and among leading individual member countries, there has also been an increasing focus on the Indo-Pacific. The EU's approach is based on its strategy for cooperation in the Indo-Pacific, which it adopted in 2021, which called for more trade and investment, greater connectivity, and cooperation on shared global challenges like health and climate change and digital issues. And in June last year, the EU made a statement setting out its thinking on China. It described China as simultaneously a partner, a competitor, and a systemic rival, requiring a multifaceted approach. It said that it aimed to de-risk and diversify its supply chain, but did not seek to decouple from China. And turning to the individual country level, France maintains a small permanent naval presence in the region because of its Pacific territories. Now, it's reasonable to ask how all these countries' focus on the Indo-Pacific has been impacted by the big challenges to global security that have occurred in other parts of the world in recent times. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has been a reminder to Europeans of the dangers of their own region. They have responded firmly and in a united way by supporting Ukraine to the extent of depleting their own military stocks, and NATO has expanded and strengthened in the process. Even more recently, the Hamas terrorist attack on Israel and the war in Gaza, which has followed, has caused terrible civilian suffering, and it now risks widening the conflict around the Middle East. For many European countries with large Muslim populations, there has also been a complicated impact on our own domestic politics. Well, inevitably, these conflicts have an impact on the extent to which Western leaders can focus on the Indo-Pacific on a day-to-day basis. But I think that the Indo-Pacific will remain a long-term priority for two reasons. First, because of the underlying importance of the economic opportunities and the security concerns in the region. And second, because we have started to create structures like the Global Combat Air Program, which I previously mentioned, which will bind us together for many years to come. Thank you.
Professor Madden, a very sort of broad perspective. Just one question regarding what I've asked. You don't think that the golden era would revive again?
So I think it's important to remember that even at the time when the state visit of Xi Jinping to the UK in 2015, for example, you had a balance of views within the UK government. You had people whose responsibilities were more in the security and military field, people whose responsibilities were more in the economic field. And the national policy is always a result of consideration of all those different factors. And at that time, I think it's fair to say that the economic factors were probably in the fore. I think some of the developments that have happened since then have meant that those security concerns, which were always around, have come even more to the fore. And we've seen some announcements in British Parliament just in the last few days about some concerns about Chinese interference in some aspects of the UK system. So I think that where we are at the moment is still wanting to maintain a relationship with China, but doing one with eyes wide open that takes full balance of all of the concerns.
Yes, I think we've read that the Prime Minister's statement yesterday as well, and I think it's bipartisan too. But just wanted to confirm it. Thank you very much. Could I ask Professor Watanabe to yes?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm Nabe Watanabe. I'm a senior fellow at the Sasakawa Peace Foundation. I'm working in a think tank for a long time. And first of all, actually, let me stop. Set up my talk 5 minutes. I personally owe a lot to the former Ambassador Abe, former Prime Minister Abe. The reason is simply that I used to work in the Washington think tank, Center for Strategic International Studies. And at that time, we really want Mr. Abe to give a speech before he became a prime minister. And he actually really had it's a politician. The think tank really asked him to talk. Eventually, he didn't choose CSIs, but instead he offered a more personal, closer meeting with him like this is this room in Tokyo. Here it was very less than 10 people the discussion. So, and at that time, he actually, in Japanese, personally, individually, apologized me. Oh, Watanabe-san, sorry. Many people offered several opportunity too. So, no, I believe, that's the time, this guy is really, really the person who really telling the truth. And I think a very honest, candid, frank. And that kind of person really presented the free and open Indo-Pacific concept. And not many Japanese realize, but this is in the history, very first time Japanese leader set up a global goal agenda. And now, after the Japan's the fight freedom of the free and open in the Pacific, I think the many countries share this notion like this current moment, talking about it. So that's very important for the us. And one thing I'd like to talk a little bit the personal things, but also apply to the global things. I think a current one is the other Ambassador Madden suggested that this concept, free and open free Pacific, is not anti-China, not anti-China. How to include China and shape the China to the I think our own value and rule-based order. And I think a big challenge may be the later in China is a really big power, influential power. So from the beginning, it's a now current. We really need to work closely with India too. So, and also, European leaders and the US leaders and Japanese leaders really now trying to work closely with India. I have many Indian friends. And India somehow share the idea of the rule-based orders and the value. However, of course, Indian civilization is very different from Chinese civilization and the European. So it's a big challenge. So big challenge is already started. That's how to influence China to the coping with our own the rule-based order. And I think at the same time, starting working with closely with India. So that's very important things. And Japan was once challenger to global order. That was after World War One and before World War II. I think a famous Prince Konoe later became a prime minister who started the war against the United States. And he was very against at that time European and the US rule, global rule, because that was a one-sided. It's a very different from Asian value. That's a very much Eurocentric. But reality was not. Simply Japan was wrong at that time. And I keep telling to the Chinese friends, China should not repeat the same mistake of what Japan has done. History is really continuing, and many people are sharing some history. I'm sure Chinese people share the very unfortunate history of Japan's invasion. Why Japan invaded China? Very complex. But at least Japan didn't risk at that time the common global order and the global rule. Despite of Japan was the major nation of responsible for the League of Nations Secretary General. Oh, I don't think so, because I have 23 the second is the rule. So, but anyway, I think at the time Japan didn't respect and lost a lot of fortune and human beings and caused the trouble to the Asian neighbor. So really need to remind to the China, look, that I really wanted to. All right, but anyway, so I stop here. So thank you very much.
Now, thank you very much, Professor Watanabe. Now I'd like to go to Professor Bonji Ohara, Fellow of Sasakawa Peace Foundation, please.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, and thank you very much for the Boston Global Forum for inviting me to the such great conference with the distinguished participants. And I'll start the geographic location of each populace. And United States is a hub of the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. And Japan is the hub of the Western Pacific and Eurasia. And United Kingdom, EU, is the hub of the Atlantic Ocean and Eurasia. But then Japan, US have the US-Japan alliance to cover the Pacific Ocean and around area. And United States and Europe have formed the NATO to secure the peace and security the area surrounding the Atlantic Ocean. But the US-Japan alliance and NATO cannot cover the large area of the world. The Eurasian continent and the Indian Ocean. Situation like the Putin's war in Ukraine aware Japan to understand the necessity of the cooperation between Japan and Europe. And also as my understanding, the European countries also understood the necessity of the cooperation with the Japan or countries in Asia or the Oceania, because of one of the reasons must be the supply chain, especially the semiconductors. Semiconductors is the key product for the next generation technologies. It is still not enough because the area surrounding Pacific Ocean and also the area surrounding the Atlantic Ocean is simple because center area, main of the area is the ocean. But between the Japan and Europe, conclude the large Eurasian continent, and also the also have the Indian Ocean. Now, India is the very important has the very important location. Exists in the Eurasian continent, but also they face the Indian Ocean. So the four pillars need to cooperate because although the even the one pillar we lost the one pillar, then we cannot cover the world enough. But it's military matters. But also we need to consider the economic matters, include economic security, because we must build up weapons for the forces, but economic power will support the our effort. Also, Japan has understood the necessity of the cooperation, not only the military operation, but also the economic security or the economic cooperation with Europe and India. Then the Japanese government has already decided to, let's say, cooperate with the United Kingdom and Italy to develop the new generation fighter jet. Then economic connectivity is the connectivity strength, the connection between four pillars. And for the economic matters or for the military matters, in AI or the other technology must be key because we need to develop the new technology to extend our business and also the develop the new technology, new military technologies. So the now the autonomous weapons and also the other decision making by AI will be the matters. So I believe the populace can cooperate even in these domains. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ohara. Now we would like to go to Professor Hosoya of Keio University, please.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Yes. Okay. So I have a better camera. Thank you very much indeed. I'm Yuichi Hosoya. I'm a professor at Keio University, Tokyo, and also I'm a research director at the Asia Pacific Initiative at think tank in Tokyo. I am very glad to be able to be other three distinguished speakers in this session, as well as two eminent ministers, Minister Takaichi and Minister Hayama. And I'd like to talk about why the topic is important. The topic is, of course, the four pillars: the United States, Japan, EU, UK, and India. As far as I know, as a scholar of international politics, I'm not quite familiar with this four pillars because we usually talk about the Quad, the United States, and also Japan, Australia, and also India. And we all often talk about AUKUS. Cooperation among the United States, UK, and also Australia. But I think still these four pillars are important for a couple of reasons, and I will talk about why I think this is important. Number one, because Japan is or has been a creator of this regional concept of the Indo-Pacific region. So undoubtedly, of course, with the leadership, important leadership of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, nowadays we usually think that the Indo-Pacific region is the most dynamic, if not the most important region in the world. No one can ignore the significance of the region in the Indo-Pacific. This is one thing. I was quite fortunate to be a member of Prime Minister Shinzo's advisory panels, two advisory panels on foreign policy and security policy. And he always showed his own vision in the world, and he always tried to place Japanese important role. He always believed in the significance and also the importance of Japanese leadership. With this, I think that he showed very important leadership in creating a very important regional concept of the Indo-Pacific. This is one thing. Secondly, UK was the most important, of course, player in the region, in the Indo-Pacific. Of course, it remains influential, significant player in the region with the new concept of the Indo-Pacific tilt, which was shown in the previous integrated review, as Ambassador Madden already mentioned. And also, we all know that the United States is the most powerful country in the world, the most powerful military power, as well as the most powerful economic power. And I believe that it remains so. So we cannot ignore the importance of continuing American leadership role. Of course, we know that which really depends on the result of the this year's presidential election in the United States. How American people will show its will to continue its leadership role in the world. And the number four, of course, in addition to these three powers, we cannot ignore the importance of India, because India will become perhaps the most significant player in the region. Of course, India is the largest democracy in the world. And in addition to these, India has been showing a very important leadership role within the new concept of the global south. Only with Western powers, which means, of course, United States and the United Kingdom, only with these two significant two Western powers, the world cannot be governed. Western community is becoming a minority in the international community, and we cannot ignore the significance of the other parts. And India has been trying to coordinate voices among these so-called global south countries. With these, I think that if we combine the importance of these four powers, the past, the greatest power or empire, of course, United Kingdom, which remains a significant player in the world, and also United States, Japan, and India. If we combine all of these four powers' will and the leadership, I think that we can significantly impact upon the future course of the peace and security. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Soya. Now, after these four speakers, I would like to ask State Secretary Minister Mr. Nakayama to make a concluding remarks on this issue. Would you, Nakayama-san, please?
そのカメラ。すいません。はい、ありがとうございます。Okay, so good morning from Tokyo, Japan. My name is Yasuhide Nakayama. I'm coordinator of the Global Alliance for Digital Governance in Japan and Taiwan of BGF. So I'm pleased to announce the hosting of the Boston Global Forum's Shinzo Abe Initiative Conference 2024. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to the professors, experts, and specialists and thinkers who have joined us despite their busy schedule, and especially my big brother, Tuan. Thank you. One fundamental element of our discussion is how, based on the lessons of the 20th century history, people can pursue their own nations of happiness and well-being within a framework of fairness and justice to the first extent. Furthermore, I extended my gratitude to all who contributed numerous suggestions and ideas and worked tirelessly to complete these proposals. The Boston Global Forum is based on 4 pillars in its mission to foster global peace and stability. These pillars focus on politics, science, and technology, business, and the peaceful use of drones. As Mr. Tuan mentioned at the beginning, one, politics. We aim for conflict resolution and peace building through the Global Leaders for Peace community, promoting dialogue and mediation to maintain global peace and security. Second, science and technology. By forming a community of scientists and engineers, we direct the power of science and technology towards peaceful purpose, understanding the cause of conflict scientifically and leveraging this knowledge for peace building. Third, business. We create a community of business leaders and entrepreneurs to use economic power to foster social progress and peace, emphasizing ethical business practices and social responsibility. Fourth, drone technology. Through the Drone for Peace community, we aim to manage the potential risks while utilizing drones for humanitarian surveillance and disaster relief purposes. These 4 pillars interact to contribute to peace and stability. The Boston Global Forum seeks to build a better future for the world through cooperation and innovation in these areas. We must also discuss the expansion of traditional domains of conflict and remarkable changes in technology, as Mr. Bonji Ohara said. In the 20th century, traditional battlefields included land, sea, and air. In the 21st century, we have added space, cyberspace, and the electromagnetic spectrum. In Japan, in collaboration with the United States, we ensure the safety and security of space around the clock, every day of the year. This commitment is based on international agreements for the peaceful use
of outer space and aims at mitigating risks. Countries worldwide should work together to maintain peace in space. However, China poses potential threats to the peaceful use of space, such as deploying killer satellites that can destroy or interfere with other nations' satellites. It is well known that China's actions of shooting down its satellites have spread space debris, posing a risk to the peaceful use of space. In cyberspace, at critical times, like elections in democratic countries, various forms of cyber attacks, including the spread of fake information using generative AI, are being conducted. The physical destruction of cyber infrastructure, as witnessed in Crimea by Russia, is a reality. The electromagnetic spectrum as well has become a field where comprehensive strategic attacks are applied, necessitating the urgent development of defensive technologies and strategies. However, I must conclude by addressing the real security risk for my beloved Japan, the drastic impacts of population decline and aging. The Japanese government must understand global situations well and promptly and strategically construct policy addressing human risks, moving swiftly to implementation. Currently, the Defense Forces fulfillment rate is at 93%. As the Taiwan Affairs officer at the BGF, I would like to make a statement. I believe that the situation surrounding Taiwan is becoming increasingly tense in various respects. I am convinced that protecting Taiwan's democracy is integral to safeguarding a democracy of the worldwide. I earnestly request your collective wisdom and efforts to overcome the challenges that lie ahead alongside Taiwan. Thank you for your attention and listening. ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Minister Nakayama. We have heard all keynote speakers and the 5 speakers in the session. And now I'd like to open the floor. We have 40 minutes, so anyone can raise, and also the speakers can also come back and add to what they have said as well. And one advice I would like to give is, please, if you have any different views or some questions, burning questions, please ask those, ask or express those, rather than I totally agree with these speakers, because the most boring symposium is that everyone agrees with each other. So please ask rather tough questions or different views to all these speakers, please. This is the prerogative of the moderator. I'm not getting any questions. 言ってくれますか、誰かが。わからないか。
ヤミさん、ここに手を挙げて。Please raise your hand.
言ってください。
Sorry, if there anyone have a question, please press the hand sign to so that we can pick up and then ask the questions. Thank you very much. Sandy?
Hi there. So one view is that strength depends on the economy, and Japan is on the edge of the fastest growing area in the world. And it seems like a very enhanced trade agreement not just an agreement, but infrastructure, trade infrastructure is critical for the strength of Japan. But currently, there really isn't much in the way of interoperability between Indonesia and India and East Africa and so forth. And I work with all these countries, so many of these countries. So I know this. And it seems like that's the critical underpinning for any of the ambitions you have for security. Would you like to have a comment about this and tell me why I'm missing the point?
Your question is to Sir Professor. Are you addressing your question to someone?
Whoever wants to answer it.
I see. Okay. Is there anyone who would like to answer, please? If not, we'll keep it on the table, and anyone can pick up later. There's some speaker who's raising the hand. So, Mita-san, can you?
Okay. Ono Hikariko-san, ambassador, Japanese ambassador to Hungary. Miss Ono Hikariko. Please.
Thank you. I tried to put on the right camera. Okay. Good evening from Budapest. I'm Hikariko Ono. Hello, Ambassador. Just like Taishi Omawa. I've just arrived here, in fact, on 25th. So I'm very new here. But anyway, thank you very much for giving me the chance to attend this conference, which I found very, very interesting. If I may, I'd like to ask a question or an advice to Ambassador Paul Madden, because I know he's very much experienced diplomat when he was in Tokyo. As you're aware, the government that I'm going to address has a very unique stance on its relations with Russia and China. And in particular, when it comes to China, the Hungarian government is pursuing, in a sense, pragmatic diplomacy in the strong hope of China's investment in economy. So, for example, the Hungarian government is one of the most active participants among all the EU members in One Belt, One Road initiative. So my question is, what kind of narratives do you think would be effective for the Hungarian government to enhance their awareness of the risks to the economic security or the China's security threat? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just arrived and you're now really our ambassador to Hungary, I can see. Thank you very much for a very good question. Ambassador Madden, can you respond to Ambassador Ono, please?
Yes, thank you, Ambassador. Good luck with your posting. I hope you enjoy it and have a productive time there.
Thank you.
I guess the question would have been more appropriate to me when we were still a member of the European Union and were able to be participating in the internal discussions. I know that Hungary and the positions it's taken on some of these issues has been quite challenging for the EU and EU colleagues, and often as a response to populist forces within that country. And though those populist forces actually are present in many European countries, including to some extent in my own. And so some governments have been responding to those. I think most of the levers to influence Hungary's attitudes on this are internal levers within the EU relating to the policies of the EU, which Hungary is signatory to, and also the financial support which Hungary receives through its membership of the EU. And I think those are the factors which will probably weigh most heavily with the Hungarian government.
Thank you very much. Ono-san, is this okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
So please relate to Hungary, please. Okay, I'd like to have Watanabe Sensei, please.
Yes, I'd like to some comment by the question of Professor Pentrand, right? He asked. But also, I'd like to greet to Ono-san. So I really wish I could visit Budapest to join you. And my question, my answer, or my comment is, of course, Japan is an aging society, and how to maintain our economy and the life of individual. I think really up to the global, I think trading or economy, investment, or activities beyond Japan's territory. And that's very critical for Japan to survive and maintain our own the economy. That's why the TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, was very ambitious, not only for the, I think, Japan's economy, but other regional economy too. And again, former Prime Minister Abe, he's one great score is that he keep persuading former President Trump to come back to TPP whenever he has a chance to talk. And I think that's very critical too. And Japan is also, I think, somehow especially the former Prime Minister Abe really the enacted free trade agreement with the EU. That was a kind of the very important because when former Prime Minister, former President Trump get out from TPP, also TTIP, that was a planning, negotiating U.S. EU free trade agreement was dead, and kind of everything is dead so far. And but again, new frontier for Japan and other world, especially the Europe, either India and the Southeast Asian country and the economy. And beyond that, clearly the Middle East and Africa is awaiting. How we could save such kind of the free trade principle? That is a very important thing. And Japan still, I'm sure that don't give up such kind of idea. And I really wanted to share this with the European friends and the American friends. And I think Chinese friends too, because China's economy is now very stagnated. And without reminding the principle of free trade, free economy, I don't think China's economy will really have a big trouble in the future. I think that's one thing I'd like to comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ohara-san. I'm sorry, Watanabe-san. Are there other people listening or other speakers who would like to add to their comments or of what they have already spoken?
Peter Landers, could you please ask some question?
Hi, hello.
He's Tokyo Bureau Chief.
Wall Street
Journal.
Very famous.
Thanks.
Handsome guy.
Handsome guy.
We can't hear you.
Mute.
I'm sorry, I came late to the discussions, so I would like to listen a little bit more before putting in too many questions. But please, I'm glad to see that Ono-san is, as you mentioned, Ambassador Fujisaki is already growing into her role as ambassador to Hungary, and congratulations to her for that appointment.
Thank you. Glad to see you on screen.
Please go ahead.
Oh, I wonder if I'm sorry. I came into the discussion a little bit late, so I really should defer to others for now. But I might chime in with a question later. Thank you for the offer, Mita-san.
Okay, now please come in later, but I'd like to give to Hosoya-san first, and so please, Hey.
Let me, Richard, let me add a few words to what Andres already mentioned about the economic situation. I'm not an economist, but at the same time, when we think about economic growth is not the only virtue in our society. At the same time, we need political stability. And in many ways, particularly rapid economic growth sometimes brings instability in political foundation. And this is what we have seen in the UK and the United States as well as other countries in a capitalist society. So I think that one of the reasons why Japan has been suffering from the slowing down of economic growth might be, number one, because of course, aging society. Number two, because of the importance of political stability. For the purpose of prioritizing political stability, for the purpose of maintaining our system of redistribution, sometimes a Japanese political leader might have sacrificed rapid economic growth. Of course, we need it, but we should not sacrifice some of the other important elements in our society. So when we talk about American economic growth, of course, we envy rapid American economic growth and its really robust economic power. But at the same time, we are seeing instability in American political foundation. And it would bring so many problems soon. So in the way, I'm not criticizing the United States. I'm talking about the importance of striking balance between the importance of or necessity of economic growth and the importance of maintaining political stability. So when I meet with my Chinese friends, scholars, they sometimes in recent years often ask me about why Japan has been able to maintain its, even though it's slow, but the economic growth with its rapidly aging society, because China will soon enter into a serious aging society, a rapidly aging society, and China really wants to maintain political stability rather than economic growth. And the political stability would be number one priority for Chinese communist regime. So in that way, they often ask us advice on how to maintain political stability while sacrificing some degree of economic growth. So when we go to Wall Street or when we go to City in London, everybody is always crazy about the importance of emerging markets as well as the importance of the new elements in the economic growth. But as a scholar of politics or international relations, I always think about the importance of striking the balance among different important elements. And in this way, I think Japan can be another important model of striking the many important balances and while trying to maintain some degree of economic growth. In this way, I really like to answer to questions that already Professor Pentland mentioned and raised.
Thank you very much for those. Dr. Ayala, please.
Yeah. I'd like to ask to Professor Pentland. Are you there? Yeah. I think, yes, as Professor Hosoya mentioned, that the relationship between societal security and stability and economic growth is a very important issue, and balance is an issue. And also, we also observe that the social stability is somewhat or much degraded by the technology, such as social network, SNS, because I believe the how we connect each other, people to people, is dramatically has been changed by the technology, and that fundamental change in how we connect
is changing dramatically of the stability of the political stability, social stability, and economic stability. And I think Professor Benton is a very pioneer, and I'd like to hear his view and also how we intervene or overcome this stability by making new kind of a technology or a system to make people in a much better way to be connected using technology.
Shinzo, he has already left.
Okay.
Ohara-san, please.
Yes, I also would like to make comment about the economic condition in Japan. I agree with the Japanese. Japan is the Asian country and is in the not such good economic condition. I had the project about the establish the security network based on business when I was in the Tokyo Foundation, which is the sister foundation of the Sasagam Peace Foundation. But I failed to establish the network. One reason it was in Japan. At that time, the Japanese, many Japanese private companies were negative to take any risk. And one other reason was in the Southeastern region because they agree with the idea, they support the idea, but each country want to get everything. So they did not have the idea to create or establish the big market. But the present, the situation was changed. The Japanese companies considering the re-establish the new supply chains and re-establish the new market, and also the ASEAN countries also has the problem. They do not have the concrete means to achieve the goal of the ASEAN centrality in the Indo-Pacific. So the both sides has the motivation to establish the bigger market. And Japan has the only few options to keep the good economy. One of them must be the makes Japan to be the heart of the bigger market in the Asian region. And also the we need to define the which kind of technology we have the superiority. It is the base of the concept, I think. Thank you very much.
Ohara-san, thank you very much. On this issue of economy and politics or security, Japanese companies, some of them, as you have just suggested, are thinking of moving their factory to other places and all that. But at the same time, they do not want to antagonize China unnecessarily and try to sort of think about economic security, but there's a sort of step-by-step process as well. Would you comment on that as well? Because
yes.
Some of the European or American friends would like to know how the Japanese business are thinking about this. Some business people are a little naive in saying, "Oh, but we cannot antagonize China a little too easily." But in the fact, as you say, in reality, they are working on sort of trying to diverse their sources as well, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Amato-san, he was correct. But the purpose of the project was not containing China or confront with China. The purpose was the changing the situation or the regional situation, which was decided by the for example, U.S.-China confrontation or the other major powers reasons. So the purpose was to create the big economic actor in this region. So I thought we could change the situation because we need to consider another actors. So the economy is the original power, and the country which has the powerful economy has the influence on the region, in the region, and also the international rule making. So now the ASEAN countries and ASEAN wanted to be the one of the actor which has the influence on the rule making.
Thank you very much. Other people who have been listening to our speakers who would like to ask questions to them or like to express their views, please.
So if anyone has a question, please use the hands mark to ask questions. And also, if for our audience, if you could put the camera on, we highly appreciate it. Thank you. Concluding.
手挙げてる人ですか？いや、あれは移動しながら携帯で見てらっしゃるんじゃない？そうです。手を挙げてらっしゃる。いや、聞いてあるんです。聞いてあげた方がいいじゃないですか、もう一回ね。巻いてますね。
Mr. Izawa, please ask some questions.
出れない人もいるので、移動中とか。強制的にやると思う。
ピートロンドスでいい。
さっき、フィーターのペンスにもしかしたら、
見えてるでしょ。
I was interested. Sorry, I heard my name mentioned, and I was interested in hearing Professor Hosoya just talk about the interest from China in learning from Japan, and I wonder if you could just talk a little bit more about is that connected to the fact that Japan has also obviously in a democratic environment and not a one-party state, but is that connected to the fact that Japan has had one party in power for most of the last 70 years?
Yeah, may I answer? Exactly, that is the point. They misunderstand about Japan because they sometimes think that Japan is similar to Chinese system. And one party dominant rule. Of course, Japanese system is totally different because it is based upon our voting and the elections. But as an alternative, it's quite extremely informal talking. So officially, I'm sure that the Chinese scholars or officials can't say this. But they sometimes feel or think that alternative to the current Chinese regime would be either a Singaporean system or Japanese system, which means that nominally it is based on election. Of course, Japan is essentially a democratic society, but according to some of them and the Chinese scholars, they sometimes feel that the Japanese and the Singaporean system are, even though nominally democratic system, but in essence, these are one-party dominant rule with no significant change in political system or foundation. So they, as I mentioned, number one priority for a Chinese Communist Party would be political stability based upon the one-party rule. With, of course, additionally, they desire for economic growth to satisfy people in China. So in that sense, China would suffer two important pressure. Number one, maybe in some future, Chinese current political leader will see some pressure coming from within or from outside for the necessity of having more democratic element in Chinese political system. And number two, aging society will undoubtedly slow down Chinese economic growth. So the last 3 decades of Japanese experience would be, of course, the Chinese strong interest because of these reasons. So I think that it is really important to think that China always feel that American political system is not their future alternative because China cannot have such a quite significant democratic system with so many frequent change in cabinet of governors and of governments. But on the other hand, China sometimes feel the necessity of having more democratic element within. So in that sense, based upon their misunderstanding, they sometimes think that they need to study more about how LDP ruling party has been able to maintain its political power with elections. Though they sometimes feel that they must be nominal elections, but no, it's eventual elections. And, the reason why I think in this way is that because Japanese people often prefer political stability. So in this way, I think that Japan and China have some commonalities, or limited commonality in preferring stability to some of the radical changes in our political system or trends.
Thank you very much, Jose-san. Peter Landers-san, are you satisfied or you're not at all satisfied? Do you like to grill him a little more?
It is interesting that, as you say, that it is kind of based on a misunderstanding, and I wondered, whether even that notion that China should have what's the word, a nominal democracy or some form of choice that results in the same party ruling as they may perceive Japan, but without what was the word you used? I think you said it was de facto one party. That China could preserve itself as a de facto one party state. As it perceives Japan to be. Even that discussion seems to be dying out in China, and perhaps they don't doubt so much anymore that it's fine to have a communist party under one leader, and there's no need to even look at other models such as Japan or Singapore or anyone else.
May I just add one thing? Well, you pointed out very important thing. May I just finally add to your question?
Please go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe I might have spoken so long, but in 2008, 9, 10, we had the Bali Democratic Forum, a fair 32 Asian countries attended with European and American observers with them. And in that Bali Democratic Forum, according to the joint statement, they declare the importance of plurality in democratic systems in the world. So they basically focused on 2 important points. Number 1, the importance of plurality in democratic form. Number 2, the importance of denying, rejecting any external forces to pressure upon any one country on democratic system, institution. So Japan was within it. And actually, many Asian countries, including China, agree on the necessity of this economic trend, a democratic trend. So China actually has not been denying or rejecting the necessity of democracy within, but they insisted on the importance of the different form or plurality of democratic institutions. So in this way, I think China has been advocating some kind of democracy while criticizing American democracy. of Western pressure upon any Asian country to have Western-style democracy. So in this way, I think that they are not, China has not been denying democracy, even though in recent years, as it implied, in recent years, they are actually, seen from Japan or seen from my point of view, Chinese leaders have been rejecting any kind of elements of democracy in Chinese society. So I'm quite critical to the recent trends. But at the same time, in recent years, like 3 years ago, in December 2021, Chinese Communist Party published white paper on democracy in China. And they are writing, within the white paper, they are saying the importance of plurality and democratic institutions. So in this way, I think that when they think about the future trend on the necessity of having more democracy, they are looking to Singaporean or Japanese experiences on a different form of democracy. But I think that, as I said, they are wrong, because the Japanese democratic institution is quite robust, even though we prefer political stability. So based upon that misunderstanding, they are researching about Japanese democratic institutions in a different point of view.
Thank you very much. Now I have suddenly 4 or 5 speakers before, and we have only 10 minutes. But I am not being asked, but I'll just add a word to you on issues of U.S.-China confrontation. ASEAN countries often, other than Vietnam, would say that don't let us choose, because they are very careful about China's reaction. And I always say to them, but if you have choice between American passport and Chinese passport, isn't that obvious that you would jump to one? But now, please, I think I have Okabe-san, and then Watanabe-san, and Ohara-san, and I would like to ask Nakayama-san to conclude.
Thank you very much. My name is Nobuo Okabe.
Please look at the camera. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Nobuo Okabe, Sankei Shimbun editorial writer, former London bureau chief. Today, I'm observer. However, I'm very interested in the main speaker's speech, especially in today's Shinzo Abe's initiatives. And as Professor Osoya said, 4 pillars is very important. In order to keep security stability and economic growth, 4 pillars much more cooperate in the future we need. Then, and I have a question for Ambassador Madden. In the future, UK, is there any possibility to enter the Quad? And also, Japan, is there any possibility to attend AUKUS in the future?
Thank you very much, Okabe-san. Your question, the first question is to Madden-san, and the second question, maybe I will ask State Minister Nakayama to respond in the very end. So, Madden Taishi, do you have any comment? Are you still there, sir? On Quad?
Actually, 2 years ago, Prime Minister Johnson announced in the future there is some possibility UK might enter the Quad in order to Indian Pacific.
Thank you. Madden's son is, if you're not there, we'll go to Watanabe-san and Ohara-san.
もういないですかね。いましたそうです。まださんいないかもしれない。
Okay, well,
Okay, so it's Watanabe.
you can speak on behalf of Madden-san on UK.
Okay. First of all, actually, I'd like to add one thing that is Hosea-san are talking about the democracy issue. So one thing I'd like to add. One thing.
Please disagree with him.
No. Just well, today's role is really try to remind what Shinzo Abe did. One thing I worked with Shinzo Abe he and Prime Minister Modi agreed to have the conference on the Asian value of Asian society and democracy. I think clearly many people, that's especially China recently, that tend to the US and Europe, Western is forcing their value on Asia. And the counter argument of Abe Modi was, no, in Asia, there's many good the democratic tradition and value. And that probably influenced by the Western too, but that's not completely forced by West. That's actually, I participated in several discussion. That discussion was, I think, helped by the Nikkei and the asking many Southeast Asian leaders, including former President Yudhoyono of Indonesia. Somehow, we share value of the important value of democracy and pluralism. But that's not only one form. That's the already Professor Hosea suggested. So Abe did. Please remember. And JOCAS, that the AUKUS and Japan join AUKUS, yeah, potentially. But again, many people misunderstand that AUKUS is just about a nuclear submarine cooperation. It's not only. That's technology cooperation too. So why not? And that's many politicians either hesitate to say, but why not interested in nuclear submarine operation too? In the future, not now. Because sharing and knowledge over this kind of things is very critical too. So why is my quite prompt answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Watanabe-san. Ohara-san, please.
Yes. As a China expert, I cannot be optimistic to change Chinese idea. Well, not Chinese idea, but the idea of the Mr. Xi Jinping. And as my understanding, his idea was similar from the basically similar from the idea in dynasty era. And, China insists that China has democracy, but the meaning of the democracy was quite different from us. And Chinese democracy means the political leader, like the dictator, he was mercy and always considering people. It is the Chinese democracy. And so China, accept every kind of the political system or idea, but also learn the many things from the developed countries. And Chinese military officers told me that China learned much from the Japanese Coast Guard operation. Because Japan is reluctant to use the military forces to, but always use the Japan Coast Guard vehicles. The Japan said it is not military operation. China understood, okay, if China used the Coast Guard ship or the paint white on the battleship, and China can say, it is not military operation. So the China built up the Coast Guard forces at the same time, as the building up the armed forces. But China never changed the basic idea never change its goal. So only pragmatic ways to deal with China. One, there are some, but one is the make China to understand it is not feasible to use the violent means to solve the problem. And second, we can compete economically in the business works. We will not exclude China, but if China wanted to join the present market, then China must obey their rules. But China also insists that China, respect the international rules or business rule, but the meaning of the rule is different from us. So if China established the big market, and China will lead the market, then the rule in the market must be the Chinese rule. So we always discuss China, the issues with China, but also make China to understand our idea clearly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we are coming to the end of the session. I would like to ask Minister Nakayama to make concluding remarks on all of what we have discussed. Nakayama Sensei, please.
So thank you very much. It was very exciting conversation or opinion showing. I believe that the way we view things can vary depending on our standpoint. So I believe we are living in an era where the difference between nations trying to control their citizens using the internet and those utilizing the internet to freely develop their economy is becoming increasingly clear. There is a Cold War in cyberspace, and something known as a cyber geopolitics exists, I guess. So despite how charming China's smile may appear, the reality of the divide between democracy and authoritarianism exists. Furthermore, it is a fact that collaboration among Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea is escalating, I guess. And Japan, and also about Watanabe Sensei's comment, I believe that Mr. Campbell from the DOS, he made a comment about Japanese cooperation between the AUKUS. I already tweet on the Twitter, I mean the X. I am as a Japanese politician, and Mr. Campbell said he take care of Japan. I mean we had the experience, the atomic bomb experience in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But on the other hand, as a Japanese statesman, I believe that we can manage those kind of nuclear submarine techniques and also the control, the handling. Why? Because Japan has a history of owning and operating a nuclear-powered ship called the MUTS under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, and also the P-type nuclear reactors used by Kansai Electric Power Corporation, simply ones that were brought ashore from American submarines. So I guess now it's the 21st century, and as I mentioned, that the Japanese self-defense forces, the numbers of the soldiers are really declining, same as our population. So I think it's a very good chance to have that kind of a capability to protect our lives, our soldiers' lives, and also the country and the security and stability of the Asia. So thank you very much. ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Minister Nakayama. Now, thank you very much for all the speakers and participants. This first session is over now. It's John. We'll go to the second session in 5 minutes. Yeah, Youth Leader of Japan in the Age of Global Enlightenment. So thank you very much.
Also, I would like to honor introduce some very honored leaders, academic in Vietnam. Join with us, Professor Lê Xuân Hùng, President of Telecommunication University in Nha Trang, in one very important university of Ministry of Defense in Vietnam. Professor Lê Xuân Hùng, yeah, and also Professor Trần Văn Thuận. He is chief and head of AI Park in Nha Trang. He is one very important AI Park of Vietnam. And we will organize a ceremony to celebrate and present and honor Shinzo Abe Award in this place in Nha Trang City. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Lê Xuân Hùng, and your college from Telecommunication University. Thank you. My colleagues from the university together now, so they sit in the room, join us. Yeah.
Would you like him to speak?
No, only introduce.
Okay. So shall we have 5 minutes recess, or do we go to straight?
Yes.
Up to you.
Right.
Now she's
This means continue. 10時50分ですけど、5分間休憩しないでコンティニューしますか。
次は英語ですよね。
入れ替わったりして。
入れ替わる。
そうですか。
休憩です。
先生方はもう退出されるわけですか。
いえ、言っていただけたら。
はい。
この後って。
AI のパートなの。
ごめんなさい。飛行機で乗ってるもんですいません。
今ここで今おっしゃったのでやらされるんです。
大丈夫でしたね。
ではその
ちょっと5分間。
ありがとうございます。
はい。Okay, we'll have 5 minutes recess, please.
It's quite surprising and unexpected. I'd like to moderate this later session. My name is Kazuya, and I'd like to we'd like to discuss AI and maybe relationship with our well-being and security, and three panelists. And the first speaker is Professor Matsuo from University of Tokyo. I think he's quite famous in this field, and I'd like to hear his talk.
Okay. So, let me begin. I will talk about the generative AI trend and Japan's perspective. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. This is my self-introduction, and I am a professor at the University of Tokyo. And I've been working on AI for more than 25 years. And I was appointed as the chair of the AI Strategy Council in last May. Okay, last year, we have witnessed the rapid progress in generative AI. And after OpenAI introduced ChatGPT, various companies also introduced their own highly capable large language models, LLMs. The startups specializing in generative AI have also seen an increase, and there have been numerous initiatives in various companies, organizations, and government all over the world. Let me talk briefly about the history of AI. The field of AI began in 1956 and has experienced cycles of booms and winters. The second boom in 1980s, with Japan becoming a hub of AI research. In Japan, we have numerous famous researchers, including Professor Shinichi Amari who founded who laid the theoretical foundation for neural networks. And another influential figure was Professor Kunihiko Fukushima. He's very famous, who created the neocognitron model, a very early version of what we know today as convolutional neural network, CNN. The third AI boom started in 2010s with deep learning technology at its core. Generative AI, which has been gaining attention in recent years, is also situated within the realm of deep learning technology. And this is the very important key technology, the transformer. Generative AI, particularly referred to as foundation models for tasks involving language and images, is characterized by two prominent technical features: the transformer architecture and also the self-supervised learning. The transformer architecture was introduced by Google researchers in 2017. This technique utilizes attention mechanism, enabling neural networks to selectively focus on specific data elements during processing. And this enables the very flexible processing over the text. And another important thing is self-supervised learning, which in the context of text is often referred to as next word prediction. So this method works by guessing the upcoming word in a sentence over and over. The self-supervised learning is very important for figuring out how intelligent our brain works. The scaling law, this is also the very important law. The new approach combined with transformers and self-supervised learning have led to an interesting phenomenon called the scaling law. This concept suggests that the larger the model is, the better it will perform. So because of this scaling law, the many developers, researchers want to build larger and larger models. So although the complete understanding of what happens inside large neural networks has not yet been achieved, it's becoming clear that they are capable of both memorizing and generalizing. So after the scaling law was discovered in 2020, much larger AI models started being built. OpenAI GPT-1 had 100 million parameters. The GPT-2 expanded to 1.5 billion. GPT-3, 175 billion. And GPT-4, maybe about 2 trillion parameters. Simultaneously, the various institutes from different countries have been engaged in developing their own large language models. For example, in China, they have the GPT-compatible, a very large model already. How about the reaction of Japanese government? The Japanese government swiftly responded to the emergence of generative AI. The Prime Minister Kishida met with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman on April 10th last year, and the AI Strategy Council was established on May 11th. Merely 15 days later, on May 26th, the Council introduced a preliminary framework aimed at addressing AI risks, leveraging AI in various sectors, and boosting AI development capabilities. And this is the last year the budget, Japanese budget for AI. The one of the initiative Japan has undertaken is the enhancement of GPU resources. So GPU is very important to train AI models, and it's very scarce. and the stock price of NVIDIA rises rapidly. And Japan has placed a strong emphasis on strengthening these resources. Additionally, efforts have been directed toward data management and model development. And how about the global discussions? In EU, discussions on AI Act have been progressing, where AI risks are categorized into 4 levels, and stringent rules have been established for high-risk AI. On the other hand, the United States issued a presidential executive order on AI in October, emphasizing a policy that places a higher importance on innovation. In November, the UK hosted an AI safety summit and issued a declaration agreed upon by 28 countries and regions. So in Japan, because we are the G7 chair last year, we initiated the Hiroshima AI process. And within this framework, Japan has been leading discussions on generative AI. In December last year, there was consensus among leaders on guidelines for AI and a code of conduct for AI developers. So I'm very glad Japan is leading the discussion globally. The Prime Minister Kishida announced the establishment of the AC, which is an AI Safety Institute, during the AI Strategy Council meeting in December, and it was officially founded on February 14th this year. This institute is placed under the IPA, Information Technology Promotion Agency, under METI. And Dr. Akiko Murakami has been appointed as its first director. She is a female researcher specializing in natural language processing, and previously worked at IBM. So UK and US also has the AI Safety Institute. So we want to collaborate together for the AI safety discussion worldwide. Now, how should Japan proceed with AI development? In the context of Japan's aging population, there's a pressing need to enhance productivity. Generative AI can contribute significantly to productivity improvements in various ways. For instance, it can make tasks like document creation more efficient and automatically handle various inquiries using AI. Furthermore, the generative AI has the potential to transform various industries, including healthcare, finance, manufacturing, law, and government. So my idea is Japan should focus on the special purpose generative AI for the industries, large industries like healthcare, manufacturing, transportation, so on. To make Japan's AI comparable to the rest of the world, it is necessary to create a form that contribute to huge industries such as medical, finance, manufacturing sectors. For example, the ChatGPT is very capable, and it can pass the exam for the medical doctor in US and also in Japan. So we can leverage the power of ChatGPT, generative AI, to help doctors to be more productive, to diagnose a larger number of patients. And also we can reduce the cost of the healthcare management operations paperwork. So that is the very important direction for Japan. And also finance sector, there are many paperworks that can be reduced by generative AI. And for the manufacturing industry, there are many people working on design and marketing. And usually, in Japanese traditional companies on manufacturing, the communication between the design sector and marketing sector is very weak. But the generative AI can help that communication essentially. So yeah, in summary, the generative AI has a potential, and looking at the many social problems in Japan, I think the generative AI can help much. And we want to lead the discussion of AI risks as well as AI potentials in global perspective. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. One big question. Do you think generative AI will make people happier?
Yeah, of course. Because generative AI is very powerful. It can be, very beneficial, and also it can be very dangerous. So we have to make discussions, and we have to make rules, guidelines so that the generative AI will make us happier.
Thank you. So next speaker is myself. And for well-being, I've been working for Hitachi for 40 years actually, and last 20 years I've been working hard for analyzing and utilizing data for industries and finance and many other areas, and also for well-being. And actually, we have a lot of social challenges. The cause of these challenges are technologies, and also technology can help to overcome these challenges. And the key issue is, can technology make people happier? And actually, about 12 years ago, I and the key researcher scientist, Sonia University in the well-being field, proposed the field of technology for the well-being on the IEEE spectrum, the biggest academic society on the earth, and wrote a paper on, can technology make you happy? And in the last 20 years, I've worked with a lot of distinguished scientists in the well-being to make technology for well-being. And especially in the last 20 years, we have made a lot of progress in measuring the human behavior and human communication data by using these kind of wearable sensors. And we have collected a lot of data, whom you talk to whom, or how much you move on a daily basis, or millisecond basis, and how many days did you experience happiness, loneliness, sadness, and so on, from a wide variety of organizations and occupations, more than 10 million days of data collected, and to analyze, to find what is the key factor, which is distinguishing between happy and productive people and unhappy and unproductive people. And we have found, we call it factor X. And actually, 2 years ago, we had published a paper on Nature Science Reports on the factor X. Actually, it is related with human relationship, but not just the amount of communication among them, but the structure they connected, how they connected, matters a lot, quite universally. I don't have much time, but if you're the person and two people you often talk to, but they don't talk to each other, that will form a V shape. But they have a problem,
data very universally that will lead to depression or conflict. And good one is this triangle relationship that is believed to be the smallest essential structure of a community. And that has something to do with even a physical movement very universally. And actually, I've done this kind of research in the last 20 years, and already Harvard Business School made a case and using for the MBA education, what we have done in the last 20 years, and also I've got some awards. So I don't have much time to spend a lot on what is well-being, but surprisingly, many people still well-being is quite ambiguous and subjective, and no hope to know more about it. But a lot of researchers in the last 20 years have discovered and gained insight what is well-being, and we all already know quite generic and in-depth reality of the well-being already. And the essence of the well-being of the people is being hopeful with good relationship. Very simply put. And I try to make the technology to make people have more well-being. And 5 years ago, I walked around and asked companies, would you give me 1 billion yen to enhance the happiness of the world by using these insights? And as I fortunately, three companies invested on this company, Happiness Planet, and so making the total amount of happiness on the planet more. And I'd like to show two things we are doing on this in this company. AI for good relationship, the first one. And actually, we have a lot of communications on email, SNS, chat, but these are will not make new connections. Conversation doesn't extend beyond the matter at hand, not connected with people unless there's a specific purpose. Unlike these kind of modes, if we, for example, I'm walking with my dog every day. I talk to somebody, some old woman whom I don't know, with the same shared topic of the dog. And those kind of good relationship starts from a triggering of a subject and quite different structure. So this triggering structure on a digital and also the cheer and support in a digital sense. And that's what we are doing. For example, if today were the last day on the earth, what would you like to eat? And definitely I'd like to anyway, ramen or NA. So instrumental communication will not, dispose your background or lifestyle thinking, and by using this triggering, we have a deeper relationship by the assistance of digital technology. And also the AI supports us, whom you have that kind of small community. And actually, it's based on data, automatically assigns every week. These three people have connection with each other based on the data. And the next week, another triangle is assigned by the system. And in this way, we have a rich triangle relationship. That's the core of well-being of the people. That's completely different from the network structure found in social network service, SNS. So already in the last 3 years, more than 200 companies have adopted this and to create connection for the well-being in their companies. Another initiative we are doing is AI for Hope. And as Professor Matsuo said, that generative AI has a very tremendous impact. And we try to utilize that power to realize hopefulness in each individual, whereas they have very different situations. But just simple ChatGPT, even we have a challenge like result of the consideration of strategies to expand orders to superior or will happen tomorrow. The answer is not incorrect, but generic and inspiring. It might be useful, but if I will answer that question, what's most important is whether you truly have something you want to convey to your superior from the bottom of your heart. Then worry all you can and give it you all, and in the end, let's just laugh it off. But something like this cannot be achieved by the conventional vanilla ice ChatGPT, and that's what we have achieved by using what we call bridging. And this is Bushin's answer. So listen to your inner voice and try to clarify your own aspirations. It's not a plan. It's the first step toward your vision and hope for the company. And like a traveler who advances step by step on a foggy morning, by doing forward step and for urgent fears. And anyway, so this Bushin have three features. It's a multiply philosophy of a specific person versus Gen AI, and go beyond person, go beyond Gen AI, and Gen AI follows the thoughts and words of individuals, and clearly quotes from a clear reference, and not to create the exact copy of the individual. So we have created my Bunshin extended presence of myself based on the way and the words I own. And another famous mental trainer and famous athlete and thought provoker, and anybody on the earth, on the planet, can ask questions and get support on concerns and challenges. And interestingly, Gen AI will evolve, and automatically ourself, our Bunshin, extended, self will evolve. So, and we will live after we pass away. So we have a lot of issues, like even if you're young or manager or executive or elderly people or survivor of a disaster. Every great challenge to major decisions, work-related issues, personal concerns. So anyway, I'd like to conclude our planet can be made happier scientifically by using technology, and key is hopefulness, relationship, and to make company better, make service better, region better, and this because society and organizations are made of people with their minds, and minds are strongly affected by hopefulness and relationship with other people around. Thank you. Yes.
I'm a total layman, so that's why I asked Yano-san to be the moderator, and I sort of hesitate to ask two top experts in Japan this kind of question. But one, I think it's absurd to think that we should sort of try to put this generative AI on the side, because we have to use it anyway in the future. However, is it a big step towards singularity, or is it? Do we really look those two things differently? Well, I've read two different views on that, so I was wondering if you could clarify or enlighten me on that.
That's a very big and important question. I think maybe Masu Sensei will also answer that question. I'd like to answer first. And the general AI is much beyond singularity. That's my understanding. Very big, bigger than we understand right now. And this is just the start. And the impact and the influence on our life and business is much greater than our current expectation. That's the important thing. But AI is something we make ourselves. Human are making. So because of the power of the Gen AI, we need to be more, we need to control. And that's, Maso Sensei also has done that, talk about. And also, not just control the technology, we also need to understand the relationship with technology and human and society. My understanding in the last 20 years, the influence or relationship between the technology, especially SNS, and human being and humanity has been under discussed. We need to discuss more. We just simply make economy and the convenience better and make society disparity and division. So control intentionally by human being, and also the relationship with technology and human needs to be understood and explored more and more. That's what we need to do. That's my thank you very much. Please.
The current generative AI technology is, in my opinion, it's one step toward AGI. But there are many technical difficulties, challenges, and researchers can see that very clearly. So it's not easy, and there will be many, there should be many discussions on the potential applications and risks. So it's like maybe in 1960s or 70s, I don't know. There is a robot or automobile, and people said, "Hey, this is very dangerous. So you can build a Gundam in any time soon." But it's kind of that theoretically it can be possible, but it is in reality it is very difficult, and there's a huge step down.
Thank you very much.
石黒先生もビデオが
はい。どういいです。はい。どうし。
じゃあ、石黒先生お願いします。
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Hiroshi Shiguro. I'm a professor of Osaka University, and I have several appointments. My activity is everything for avatars. Right? Today, I'm talking about avatar and AI technologies. So this is my dream. I have started my robot and avatar project around 2000, and my goal is to realize this human avatar symbiotic societies. So this is my R&D history for the interactive robots. Always I'm developing both autonomous robots, computer agents, and teleoperated robots and computer agents, that is avatars. But recently, I'm focusing on the avatar development. This is one example of my robot, and I believe this is one of the most human-like robots And always people ask me these questions. Why do we need humanoid robots? The answer is simple. The human has a brain that recognizes humans. Therefore, the ideal interface for the human is humans. So we realize human-like information media that people can easily use and interact with. At the same time, we will use it to understand higher cognitive function of humans. So we explore what it means to be humans through interaction with human-like robots. So this approach is called constructive science with intelligent systems. We are developing the robots for our futures and for understanding the human cognitive functions. So in robotics, we focus on the development of the elements of human-like robots, for example, the sensors and manipulators. The bottleneck was the conversational abilities. But thanks to the large language model, we could solve that bottlenecks. Now, we can focus on the meta-level cognitive functions of humans and robots, such as intelligence embodiment, intention desires, consciousness, and social relationships. So this is one example of the applications of large language model for the Android.
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you. How can I assist you today?
Could you explain about your research?
My research focuses on developing humanoid robots that can think and work like humans. I am also interested in understanding what it means to be human through robotics.
So we have input more than 10 books I have written and almost all media interviews. Then this Android, my copy, can answer to any kind of questions instead of me. It's so similar to me. And by using these technologies, I'm trying to realize human avatar symbiotic societies. So 2006, I have developed my twin copy, and I have developed the very simple, the easy interface for operating the Android. Okay. So this is the 6th generation of my copy.
This avatar project is one of the moonshot projects of the Cabinet Office of Japan.
As you can see here, this Android can have a much better gesture than me. If we want, we can use a more simplified avatars like this. The elderly prefer to interact with this simplified avatars. I'm also developing the computer graphics avatars in my companies, the Abita. I have launched this startup companies 2 years ago. So this is an example of cartoon-like avatars. Actually, the Japanese companies prefer to use this kind of cartoon-like avatars. But for the foreign companies, they prefer to use this very realistic avatars. So we don't need to use special computers, special equipment, special devices for operating these avatars. We can use just normal computers. Okay. And while the people can work like this, at home, right, by using normal computers, they can operate the avatar easily. And avatar doesn't take the much space, right? By using tablet computers, that we can put the avatar anywhere. This is very convenient. And actually, this insurance companies, insurance marketplace, Hoken Ichiba, they are using our avatars. So avatar is a top salesperson. Right. So that actually we are changing this kind of a business by using avatars. And we are also using the avatars in the convenience stores. In the convenience stores, we are using the automated cash registers, but the service is so complicated. and the customers, they may ask some questions. So in such case, avatar works, right? And actually, many kind of people are working in these convenience stores as the operators. For example, the handicapped people, for example, the people living in a local place. So this is a very, very important things. And we are also providing the avatar training AI, right? So the operator can have a role play with AI.
Hi, so I'm not really sure what kind of insurance I need. Can you help me out?
So
Please tell me your problem.
Well, you see, I got this 5-year-old son, and I'm worried about his school fees.
So actually, the operator can iterate this kind of a training as much as he or she wants. So this is a very, very the impressive progress. And in addition to that, the avatar training AI can evaluate the performance of the operators like this.
As a sales trainer, I must say that you did a good job in identifying my concerns and suggesting a suitable insurance plan. You were patient and attentive to my needs.
As you can see here, the AI can give pretty good training for the operators, for the humans, and the human can work by using the avatars. So this is our futures. So in order to realize this, the human avatar symbiotic society, we are running the very big project. It's called the Moonshot. The Moonshot has the 7 goals we have to achieve by 2050s in Japan. The first goal is to realize avatars. So by 2050s, we want to realize a society in which people are free from the constraints of body, brain, space, and time. This is our goal. Okay? Actually, we want to realize this kind of societies. Anyone, including the elderly and the people with disabilities, will be able to freely participate in various activities with abilities beyond ordinary people while expanding their physical, cognitive, and perceptual abilities using a large number of avatars. So anyone will be able to work and study anytime, anywhere, minimize commuting to work, and have plenty of free times. So I hope to realize this kind of ideal societies. And of course, in order to do that, we need to carefully discuss about the ethical and the security issues. All right. So these issues are examples, right? So now we are tackling to solve these issues. But the most important thing is the diversity and inclusions by using avatars. The human has a bodies, therefore the human discriminate against humans based on our bodies. Avatar frees humans from the restriction of our bodies and create a society of diversity and inclusions. Using avatars, we can realize a society in which everyone recognize each other, connect with each other, and live together. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. Any other comments and questions?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And I'd like to ask both of speakers. And yes, as a security expert, I'm always look at the dark side of the technology, human society. I'd like to ask about the laws, lethal autonomous weapons. Those kind of systems using the AI technology. It is the key technology. Some actors, include China, developing the laws very rapidly. And they will not listen our requirement about discussion on the dangerous aspect of the AI or laws. So the how to get the superiority is matter. this is as my understanding, the United States understand the situation. It is the only way to discuss with those kind of actors. So the DARPA in the U.S. Department of Defense has already declared that it will develop the AI, which can be trusted by the warfighters. So usually the democratic country, we are always discussing, and it takes time to decide the policy or direction. So especially in Japan, I've never heard that the discussion about the usage of AI to the weapons or some other kind of those kind of weapon systems. So how about the idea of we need to let's say get superiority even in the weapon build up?
Superiority over, for example, China. What
in the world, not only Japan but also the democratic countries.
Actually, we discussed much about that in maybe 5-6 years ago when the deep learning has rapidly advanced, and the conclusion is that with the current nuclear landscape, there is not so much change by using generative AI for weapon. So in the military industry, the automation system are already searched and implemented, and so the many airplanes you're right, but yeah, they are fully automated maybe in 2 decades, 3 decades. And even if we can increase the precision by using the current AI, that will not affect much. But maybe the most important thing is not in that kind of regular situation. For example, the marketing technology, as Yang-san said, the AI can communicate people. So if the one country wants to change the rural party, the vote for people, maybe they can potentially do that using the AI. So it's very similar technology to marketing, but so that kind of unexpected use cases what we should care about. Yeah, that's.
For example, making avatar of Hitler, something like that, might be possible in the future. That's quite scary.
That is, we are very glad to see our progress and also presentation of Kazuo-san, my very good friend for a long time already, and Yutaka Masuro. And I think Boston Global Forum, we have AI for Society initiative from 2017, and our people from Japan contribute very much to build social contract for VIH standard, and also for some some report for G7 summit in 2018, 2019, Canada and French. And Kazuo-san joined us some conference and some statement and report already, and respect his work very much. And this is really need or to set up standards and spiritual and ethical value in society. And we 2018 in International House of Japan. Yeah, Kazuzano joined a very important conference in 2019 in that is Hitachi lab and center, and we do very much. So now you can see we do a 2022 ChatGPT open and announced, but we think we did that from some years ago, and now I think that's very good for Japan. Yet after Masuo present about how Japan government, how Japan company invest and do now, I think that's very good time with Shinzo Abe and initiative. We call the Shinzo Abe initiative focus on support for AI, data, and digital economy of Japan also. And I have ideas that is, why not Japan play very important role in AI society with Kazuzano concept for that happy society with AI and technology and research from Matsuo. We enforce and make an a special event in AI and culture and technology, combine culture also and spiritual value, ethical value. Special Japan can contribute for the world very much in ethical value, social capital, ethical capital. We think about that. That is the world need social capital, financial capital, and intellectual capital. That capital we recognize that Japan is special in ethics and social value capital for the world. So we do that and we define that is a model and we set up that is now AIWS Angel. That is the initiative to make AI better. Or we are solve challenge an article we see already. So I think we need to have a foundation and fundamental value standard, ethical, and that is that everything ChatGPT now do, we don't know what value, what standard from only from company. So we have a bot. We do this in Shinzo Abe initiative and our Japan community and also Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and Silicon Valley community. We can set up for our fundamental value, fundamental knowledge and standards to use and reference for any decision and reference and inference causal model as Julia Byrne also. That is we can solve problem about misinformation, disinformation, and bias, something like that. That's my idea to contribute with Kazuzano and Masuo about that. And I think that Japan is can define role and position in new society with AI by that way. And I love Japan very much, of course. So I'm very, very happy and delighted to work with you to contribute and bring our work, our value from Japan to Boston, to Harvard, MIT, and Silicon Valley, and also to India, Vietnam, and Europe for 4 years. So that's my idea. And also we can do one very special event for that on Shinzo Abe Day. That is the day Shinzo Abe was assassinated, July 8th. Yeah, why not? We can make very special day with AI culture and AI economy and technology combined, make happy society. Yeah, so that's my ideas. We can discuss. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I have before asking question, clarification to Yano-san's presentation. You use a bunshin.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese,
Yeah.
right? And translation is a avatar, which Professor Ishiguro used or not? It's the same or different?
That's I use the word because it's much more sound original concept because it's multiplied by human thoughts and words by power of Gen AI and going beyond both. But the principle is always ChatGPT and Gen AI follows until the human first, AI second, and that's followership, leadership is always enforced. That's my concept of vision. So it's just a copy of a human. It's more than something we need. We need to leave the legacy of our lifetime to the next generation. And if many people live a better and well-being life and living life for good, and because you can leave your legacy to the next generation, and the number of people who think and behave that way, the society and the planet will be happier. That's my hopeful and optimistic view.
Okay. Yeah. So now my comment is the bunshin. I wish I really have a bunshin now. The reason is Japanese fiscal year is finishing in the end of March.
Yeah.
I have a lot of work still that need to finish up the document, but physically I have to be here. So I wish I could. My bunshin is working on my documents. If AI is helping, that makes me happy, of course. That's probably I understand in the context of what you are talking about as happier with the bunshin. Is that right understanding of your
passion? But but the similar things is already happening because my presentation today, English version, is by using Gen AI to translate it from my Japanese version. Totally. So my burden and cost is dramatically reduced by that technology already, and maybe much also they might be doing the similar thing. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's time. Yeah. John-san, closing remarks?
Before you make your closing remarks, I would like to say a word. I would like to thank Tuan-san especially for organizing this Abe Shinzo Memorial seminar, because I think he has done a great for Japan's security, and we should all remember his contribution. And very frankly, in Japan, once someone is gone, it's not as remembered as some country. Here in other countries, for example, I was very impressed in the United States. I was helped a lot by Jewish people because Srihara, a diplomat, wrote the visa for of 5,000 people so many years ago, and so many years ago, 8 years ago, but still people remember that. We were helped a lot by people around the world during 3/11 disaster only 12 years ago. And a lot of people don't talk about it anymore. So to remember things that has passed and by foreigners like this Tuan-san is doing and also try to relate that to some very new things. AI is very impressive, and I'd like to thank you for this symposium, seminar, and all your contribution to this, and try to help startups as well, and you and your helper or coordinator here, Mita-san, as well. Thank you very much.
So it's a great meeting. Yeah, we had great meeting today, and I think Shinzo Abe will very happy with us with our work today. And we are not only think about past, about legacy, that we think about today and future. And Shinzo Abe legacy not only is a legacy, Shinzo Abe is for future with us, and he go with us in future also. That is most important. I saw from today's discussion. The second, that is we have a very important report, Shinzo Abe initiative report about 4 pillars. And Nakayama-san present already the highlight about that, and we will send you full copy. And our design very beautiful. I have to say, very beautiful. I have here already, but I don't know how we can present to you. So I can show you in here in the room. So. Yes, you can see this. It's not yes, not on the, but we can see here and in our room we can see that's a very cherry blossom and single initiative about everything. We will send you, and we will do very much with this community, and special that is single way is the first leader, world leader, world honored as a world leader for peace and security or world strategy teaching. And now, this time, we establish the world leader peace community, include the world leader was a work spend with leaders who contribute and dedicated for the work. Yes. Also, Ambassador Fushisaki, Nakayama, and our people here, we will join in this year task force for peace, and also in world leader peace community. We do, and we will soon to send you some proposal to work. We will try to connect and discuss and dialogue with the 4 pillars government, US, Japan, India, EU, UK. And we have very convenient because Ursula von der Leyen, she is president of EU, is also member of our world leader peace community. So also another community for peace. So I think that is our work dedicated to Shinzo Abe, to memory, to respect and admire him for future, and so for peace and security. And also we have Shinzo Abe initiative, Shinzo Abe leader award for startup community in Japan, and promote and support economy of Japan. Yeah, Japan reinvent Japan with new and next generation, with young generation in economy and development. And I think combine between ethics, social responsibility from Japan, and economic and AI economy, data economy. Japan will play a very important role in the future, as Japan played so far. Yes, and that is we do in announce an award at Harvard University Conference of Boston Global Forum, April 30. And we will organize ceremony to present award in Yanjiang City on 27th of June. So we hope Ambassador Fushisaki and our people can come to Yanjiang. It's very special city, very beautiful city. And I talked with them already I have just have a speech for celebrate 100 years Nyajan. I thought we should bring between Nyajan and Japan, bring culture and ethical value from Japan to work and to support to develop Nha Trang and Vietnam. And they like that very much. And you will be honored guest from Japan, and we welcome very much warm welcome in this city. And now we came already, and so I have changed to of course, Kazuzano, Matsuo, and our people here. You are honored guest in this event, special event, and yes. And that is some work we will do in the form of this very special conference of Shinzo Abe. And finally, I'm very appreciative and grateful for my college, Nobimita work for 10 years. And Boston Global Forum will honor her in a conference April 30 for her great contribution and achievement with Boston Global Forum in Japan for 10 years. Of course, she work and the rest achievement received by your support, your contribution very much. So that we honor her, that we honor all of our people in Japan to contribute for your contribution. And yes, I would like to work with you very much. And I think with my personal Zimbabwe in my heart and Japan in my heart. And we are together, all together forever and ever. Thank you so much.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございました。いいです。ありがとうございます。どうぞ、松尾さんもよろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。先生、どうぞまたよろしくお願いします。
BGS Japan 10 years ago, 10th anniversary today, and we would like to go next stage with you, and please go next stage, and please support BGS Japan and BGA. Thank you very much.
And also, see you next year in Cherry Blossom and Zimbabwe conference here. Yeah.
Please make a approach for the moderator. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.